Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem El Shai Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you left out there. And all praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Yahweh Shai being the second Lucifer. Had to throw that in there. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video. Matter of fact, let me bring up the precept. And I'll give you the title in a second. As soon as it pops up. I didn't know what I was going to go into. I was thinking about getting up and doing a video on biblical maps or a map of the Bible, because you got a lot of brothers out there, Israelites out there that they'll know certain precepts and certain prophecies, but they don't know everything. And a lot of them don't. If you took a map of the ancient world and asked them to identify one place from the other, guarantee you a lot of them will get stumped. So you got to know everything. You know, Esau, when he goes into the scriptures, these so-called scholars, they go into everything. So let me do this. Okay, Ezekiel 28. And remember, the scriptures are written in code. So when it says Babylon, you have to know based upon the context. Is it talking about ancient Babylon? Is it code for the US? Prince of Tyrus is actually code for the US. Like if you read about Babylon in Jeremiah, Isaiah, it's twofold. The scholars will say, well, I was talking about the pagan Neo-Babylonian Empire. But when you read into the whole, like Jeremiah, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 13, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, and many other scriptures that when you come across the word Babylon, we know, and the elite scholars know, that that's not talking about ancient pagan Babylon, Neo-Babylon. Because it wasn't attacked by the Medes, and ultimately the Persians came in, and there was some full-scale war. It was a surgical strike. And when you read these prophecies in Isaiah and Jeremiah, it wasn't no surgical strike where you killed the king and his lords, and then you just assume, and nothing's touched. Everything, you didn't have to, burn down buildings and so forth. But anyway, so we know Tyrus, pursuant to Ezekiel 28, is not talking about ancient Tyrus. It says Tyrese, king overthrown. So this is my title. Thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. So this applies to E, because they check out everything. They have the top archaeologists, they have the top scholars, they have the top biblical historians, they got this top, men that deal with antiquities. And by the way, archaeology just means study of the old, study of ancient things. So what they do is he is not a spiritual man. He doesn't deal with tuition and spiritual awakening or spiritual connection between him and the Most High. Their mindset is logic. They'll read the Bible and they'll say, okay, the Bible says this, the Bible says that. Okay, this happened. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. The ark, Noah's ark, as they call it. Esau read about that and he said, okay, that's good. Let's see if that, because it does mention Mount Ararat in Turkey. So they said, let's get our scholars and scientists, historians, uh, so forth and so on, and let's go and see if that's the case. And they found out that it was. And they did that with everything. So, they know King David existed because they have, as the elder, the head of Chicago, Malcolm would say, they dig up the relics. That's his word, relics. All right. That's why they got these museums, because these museums, these are actual artifacts and relics that they found. And Jake ain't gonna go into a museum. Like the number one museum is in New York is the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That's a complete museum, not the damn Guggenheim up the street. And then the next one after that is the Cloisters, which is further up uh, North Manhattan. So I used to take them brothers down, the men that was under me. We used to go to the museums on certain days, and you would see, we got to do that again. I don't know if we'll ever do that because they got the mask mandate and the C ragamuffin coming back. So I don't know if we're gonna ever do it, but if we get a chance, we'll do it again. And that opens up your mind because you read the scriptures, and then you see, like if you go to the Middle Eastern section, they'll go into Alexander, they'll go into the Medo Persians, and they have a map. They have a big map in the Middle Eastern section, right next to the Griffin, showing you that Esau knows that everything that we're saying in the scriptures, everything that we say, these things are true. So they know that we woke up. They said, yep, these Israelites then woke up. And they try to demonize us. They're wishing that, Jake does something stupid. I mean, an Israelite does something stupid so they can say, you see, these people are looking to harm people. No, we're about truth. That's why you got so many infiltrators, police officers, maybe federal agents that's mingled in all the camps. Trust me. Trust me. And these are Jakes, and they're gonna pay daily by the hands of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And when the Lord comes back, they're not gonna make it. They ain't gonna have no agents up in the ships. That's the topic right there. There's not gonna be no agents up in the ships. Because you around us and you know that what we're teaching is the truth. And Esau knows it, but he just doesn't tell your dumb black ass. So anyway, it says, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Let me read that in the NLT. See what the NLT says. You regard yourself as wiser than Daniel, and they are wiser than Daniel. They have the technology and think no secret is hidden from you. Yeah, because you do know the secret. So I don't like this translation. Let's go to the ESV. ESV. You are indeed wiser than Daniel. No secret is hidden from you. Yeah, because of their technology. They can measure the weight of a flame. Go back to Ezra. They can measure the weight of the flame. They can see your voice. They have instruments that they can, when you speak, they can see. They can see the words coming out of your mouth, the vibrations. They can whether they can measure, they can weigh the weight of a flame. Ezra couldn't do that. So the angel said, okay, what's the weight of a flame? He went deep on him because Ezra was receiving these prophecies and he wanted to know more. Mosai gave Ezra quite a bit of information pursuant to uh, prophetic breakdowns. He saw a lot of things that John saw. Daniel, the same thing. That's amazing. That's amazing. As this guy would say, this Uncle Tom, the hell is his name? He does a video YouTube page called The Fallen State. That dusty Negro. He said, that's amazing. That demon. So anyway, so you got the title. So let me just go into this. I'm not gonna make this too long. So here we have, like I said, I was going to do a video on maps. So when I put in biblical maps, a bunch of maps came and I hit images, and this came up. So I said, well, let me look at it. So you got it right here. You got this one, then you got this. Then we can focus on this, which is Daniel 2. Then we can focus on Daniel 7. Now this is E putting this up. It says the prophetic history of the world. So when we go out there on the highways and the byways, when we do the sit downs, you got a lot of people that say, "Oh, y'all just making it up. You don't know what you're talking about. The Most High is not dealing with you. You guys claim to be prophets. You're not prophets." And the Most High is dealing with the prophets, the apostles, and the prophets. So what does a prophet, apostle, and a prophet do? They go into the scriptures and they give the understanding of the scriptures. Most High is not dealing with bishops. I mean, a bishop is someone that runs the church, not necessarily go out there prophesying. A general is the head of an chief commander of an army. See, the titles that we have are prophetic titles: apostles and prophets. So, what are you going to get out of us? Mostly, you're going to get out of us prophecies. When we go out there and teach this word, we're bringing you the prophecies. We're telling you who you are. We're telling you who Esau is, who you are, and the importance of why you should know who you are, because you'll get caught up in them prophecies. You want to be on the left-hand side of the prophecy or the right-hand side of the prophecy. And there's no excuse for Jake now, because we've been doing videos since July of 2007. So we're talking about what? seven going on 17 years. I mean, yes, 17 years. Can you believe that? A few years shy of 20 years. A few years shy of 20 years. A lot of things changed um, inside of that 20 years from the time we went on YouTube. So Jake, that was supposed to get it, the elect that came in, the brothers that came in through the web, they're in it. You had guys that fall off, you had guys that stayed, you had guys that excelled in this thing. And you had guys that fell off. That's just that's just prophecy. There's gonna guys are gonna come in, and guys are gonna fall off. So the Most High, my belief is that the elect are sealed. They just have to be woken up totally. Maybe a lot of those people from South America that's coming up here, I'm pretty sure there's some of the elect mingled among them. So your job is to be to to prophesy. As a matter of fact, let me check something. Um, Give me a second here. I went through a precept, and let me see if I can find it. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I found it. I found it. This is what I want right here. All praises to Yahweh Shemau Shai. Yahweh Shai being the second Lucifer. The first Lucifer is still in power. The second Lucifer is coming. Proverbs 4, verse 18. But the path of the just, starting with the apostles and the prophets and the teachers, is the elect, is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. That's my new favorite precept. It's St. John 1 verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. You got the dark side of people, the dark people and the people of the light, right? The children of this world are wiser in their generation than the children of light. Who are the children of light? The Israelites. Starting with who? The elect. Second Peter 1 verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn. Oh, there it is again. I didn't realize I was going to go into this. And the day star arise in your hearts. The day star is talking about Yahweh Shai. The old day star is another way. The ancient, what they used to say in the past was Lucifer. Lucifer. First John, let's see what First John 2, verse 8 uh, says. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth. So what do we are the lights. Revelation 1, verse 16. Let's see what that says. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. Let me try something. Matthew 5, verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So once you get this knowledge, you can't, hide it in a napkin and bury it. You bury it, the Most High gonna bury you. So we've been getting on the main camp in New York about doing X amount of videos. You should be doing at least 5 videos a week. You really should. Your mindset should be doing videos every day, and sometimes more than one video if the spirit's on you. And you're supposed to always be looking for that spirit. Like I said, the camp back at One West back in the early '90s had anywhere from 50 to 52 men, and all of them went back into the world except for 2 men. Because Ricard was in Yashawan's camp, which I started that camp with Ariala and even Lahab. Me and Lahab started that camp. It was just 2 of us. Ricard was in that camp because he was from out of Brooklyn. Then he got with us through Apostle Gabar. But the only ones that was part of that camp that still know that they still doing the Israelite things is Apostle Gabar and Bishop Nathaniel. Them are the only 2. The rest of them, they're back in the world. Some of them are dead. Some of them are bugged out. Some of them went back to the church. Some of them are probably Moes. And they're all going to get that chip if they're on the earth at that time, and they're all going to die because they're all a bunch of f-ups, inside joke. So now let me go. Okay, so E knows what we know. That's another topic. E knows what we know. It says the prophetic history of the world. Now, even if you go to the Bible Hub, and I'll probably do that. You know what? Let me go ahead and do that. I'll go to it in a minute. I'll go to it in a minute. So this is Daniel 2, right? Head of gold, Babylonian or Babylonian Empire, 605 to 539. And they were supposed to go pursuing the prophecy 70 years. They didn't even reach 70 years. It was what, 67 years pursuant to this right here. Chest and arms of silver, Medio-Persian. 539, there was a surgical strike to what? To 331. So 331, 431, and we're talking almost damn near 150 years. And that was a vast kingdom. Now, if you notice, it said they fell in 331 BC. Greeks came up in 331 BC. Babylonians fell in 539 BC. Persians came in at 539 BC. So why did this kingdom go down? Because another kingdom more powerful in himself militarily took him down. The Greeks, led by Alexander, took them down. As soon as they took them down, they set up shop. We running this thing now. So check this out: 168 to 168 BC, and at that time, those were Japhet to 467 AD. That ran into us ruling. But then you come down here, feet of iron and clay, divided papal Rome, 538 AD, second coming of them. They didn't say nothing about the EU nations. They say nothing about the NATO nations. They didn't say nothing about the U.S. They just said papal, divided papal Rome. That's what they're saying. It's a Rome. That's why you had some guys like Nazariah from Chicago. He was teaching, and he's back in the world, getting ready to get chipped and eat a missile. He was teaching that Babylon the Great in Revelation is the Vatican City, but they didn't show us the scripture. And I eventually found out what scriptures they were talking about. Peter spoke about saluting the church in Babylon. Oh, so that's it. Babylon is Vatican City. No, there was Israelites that were actually living in Babylon. Remember, we were scattered. So now let's go over here. Like I said, if you go to the commentary, it's going to tell you the same thing. They're all going to agree. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and do this, and I'll bring it over here. Matter of fact, okay, if I got that tab open, which I don't, so let me do this. Okay, so I'm back at this map. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, let me go to Daniel 7. 7 commentary. As a matter of fact, let me do it this way. Now I want to find a Bible Hub. Okay, here we go. Got it. Bible Hub. And you'll see it in a second. Almost there. Just bringing it up. Okay, I always go to Cambridge Bible for schools and colleges. Let's see what they say. So I can see Belshazzar. I'm singing to the choir. This is mostly for some of you new cats and sisters. Daniel spake, and I saw a vision at night and four winds. I really don't want that. I'm going to the meat of it. See, now what we're doing is a lot of reviewing, backtracking. Four beasts came from the sea, diverse from one another. Let me go to one more. Go to the next verse. So let's see what they say. By the way, the Babylonians were Assyrians. They were not Cushites. It says in the first, like unto a lion had eagle's wings. Okay, eagle's wings. Going right to it. Okay, the griffin vulture. That's the symbol of the Assyrians. Were plucked off or up, lifted up from the earth, on which as an animal it had been lying. will have been crouching upon the feet, a man's heart. So it's the same griffin that rose up and had eagles on it, wings on its back. Gold Nebuchadnezzar takes you back to Daniel 2. So these people can't say, well, you guys are just making it up. You guys are crazy. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're not a scholar. I'm reading from the scholars. They're saying what we're saying. Same thing what we're saying, that we're saying. And behold, another beast a second, like to a bear, raise up three ribs. Okay, so let's see what this is all about. Oh, here we go. The three ribs, those, it says, as they pray, which it had seized, those who regard the bear as symbolizing the Medo Persian Empire generally suppose the three ribs to denote Lydia, Babylonia, because they took down the Babylonians, and Egypt. Those are the three ribs that they had in the mouth. Behold the leopard on the back, the wings of a fowl, four wings of a fowl, four heads, dominion was given to it. Like I said, I'm singing to the choir for the ones of you that just we're reviewing, we're backtracking. Okay, so let's see what it says about the leopard. The leopard is a fierce, carnivorous animal, remarkable for the swiftness and agility of its. His feet touch not the ground. Attack. Chaldeans, swifter leopards. There's a leopard by the way. Will I? Okay, they playing around. So let's go to Benson's commentary, Daniel 7 and 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. This third kingdom is that of the Macedonians or Grecians who, under the command of Alexander the Great, overcame the Persians. Night vision, terrible, dreadful, terrible, having iron teeth. Let's see what they say about this. Okay, here we go. Benson's. Behold, the fourth beast, the fourth kingdom can be no other than the what? The Roman Empire. I don't got to read no more. So when you're speaking and a Christian comes up and you go into prophecy and they say, well, that don't mean that. And then you ask them, well, I really don't know what it means, but I know you ain't breaking it down. The scholars agree with what we're saying. Or we say the same things that the scholars say, or the scholars say the same thing that we say. Now let's do this. We're reviewing. Let me just go to 9. I beheld the thrones are cast down, and ancient of days they sit, hairs of his head like the pure wool. Meaning the Most High came down in a human form as a man, he would look like a black man. Let me see what they say this is. Okay, his throne was fiery flames, and the wheels thereof burning flames, fire. You got Edomites that are saying, they've been saying that for years, that the UFOs that you see are the angels. Up, 9th verse, Daniel 7, 9 to 14, the judgment on the Gentile powers. That means you, vocab. That means you a Gentile. The scene is majestically conceived, thrones and set for the heavenly powers. And this is talking about now, and these devils know it. The assessors of the judge, the Almighty Himself, appears in the likeness of an aged man. They don't tell you he's a black man. If he got a fro, he's a so-called black man. Black man, the traveler, seated on a throne of flames, angels in countless myriads stand in attendance around him, and the books recording the deeds of the Gentile rules are open. The four beasts were given over to destruction. Actually, the beast itself, not the four, the beast itself was given in destruction. They're the ones that's going to feel the fire, while a figure in human form is brought before the Almighty in the clouds, that's Yahweh Shai, and receive from him an everlasting dominion. So they know that this is getting ready to happen. It says what? The wheels thereof, the throne is pictured implic- implicitly as a chariot. As a chariot. Ezekiel 1, verse 15. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel on the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. So they came out of the ships, the chariots. So they saw the vehicles, the UFOs, whatever you want to call them, and they saw the angels, and they hopped back into the ships. Esau, you in trouble, boy. I got to throw this. That's what you get when you fuck with me, white boy. If you can tell me what movie that's from, you good. The representation of the throne and wills as being fire is, however, more than is found even in the vision of Ezekiel. So that's a vision of the Lord coming down on a gigantic ship, sitting on his throne. Hey, they showed you that in the Prometheus. That was what was the original name? But the movie Prometheus, they found like a alien ship with a being sitting in there, and that's pretty much how the Most High gonna come down. But that's a vision, because Yahweh's not gonna come down, but his son's gonna come down, followed by Michael and the rest of the angels. So this is basically just a review. I came into this picture. See, now it says here Daniel 7. We did Daniel 2, Daniel 7. lion with eagle's wings, bear raised on one side, a leopard with four heads, four wings, dreadful and terrible beasts. And it tells you on this side what they represent: Babylonians, Medo Persians, the Greeks, pagan Rome. Then they say they should have right here. It should say America, NATO, and the EU. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say. Oh, by the way, the stone represents Yahweh Shai. And where's the stone attacking? Not at the head, because they're not in power. Attacking the feet, the foundation. It says about the dragon, the serpent. Matter of fact, let me go to that right quick and then I'm going to close. Genesis 3. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head. We're going to be bruised, and thou shalt bruise his heel. The fulfillment of that is, matter of fact, let me do this. Then I'm gonna close. I'm not gonna keep you any longer. Remember, this book is written in code. If the Most High put this book outright, plain English, they would outlaw this book. In slavery, they killed you if they caught you reading the book, because they knew that was the source of your power. Okay, so let me see what this is all about. So they're saying, okay, all right, they're right. They said the seed of the woman and in the words, it shall bruise thy head, the victory of the crucified and risen Son of man, because he's coming back by the spirit of his mouth and the brightness of his consumed with the brightness of his coming. I'm quoting Second Thessalonians 2. So that's what it means, the hill being bruised. So when you look at this here, that's the hill being bruised. They took us down, and now they're gonna be taken down at the hill. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Bear with me so I can close this out.